What is the name of the structure that controls the activities of the cell? That's right, it's the nucleus. Which structure is responsible for protein synthesis? That's right, it's the ribosome. What are structures that enclose the cell and its contents? That's right, it's the cell membrane or plasma membrane. What's the name of the process by which cells reproduce? Mitosis or meiosis. Okay. What are the two types of asexual reproduction? Binary fission and budding. What type of cell has no nucleus? A prokaryotic cell. Now let's move on to pharmacology. What does pharmacology study? The action of drugs on living organisms. What is pharmacodynamics? The study of how a drug affects the body. What is pharmacokinetics? It's the study of how the body affects the drug. What do we call a drug that kills bacteria? An antibiotic. A drug that relieves pain is called an analgesic. What do we call a drug that prevents infection by a virus? Antiviral. What is an adverse drug reaction? Any response to a drug that is not the desired therapeutic effect. The word root tox comes from the Greek word meaning poison. Toxicology is the study of the adverse effects of drugs and other chemicals on living organisms. What is the difference between pharmacology and toxicology? Pharmacology is the study of the effects of drugs on the body, while toxicology is the study of the adverse effects of drugs on the body. How can we prevent infection? By immunization or vaccination. What is an allergen? A substance that causes allergic reactions. What are antibiotics? Drugs that kill or inhibit the growth of bacteria. What is an antiseptic? A chemical that kills bacteria. What is a disinfectant? A chemical that disinfects surfaces by killing bacteria. What is the difference between a mutagen and a carcinogen? A mutagen is a substance that causes mutations in DNA, while a carcinogen is a substance that causes cancer. What is an oncogene? A gene that has the potential to cause cancer? What is the function of the autonomic nervous system? To control involuntary bodily processes? What part of the brain is responsible for higher-level thinking? The cerebrum? What do we call the basic functional units of the body? Cells. What is the smallest particle of a chemical element that has the properties of that element? An atom? What is a molecule? Two or more atoms chemically combined. What is a compound? Two or more elements chemically combined. What part of the cell contains genetic information? The nucleus. What is a gene? A segment of DNA that contains the instructions for building and maintaining an organism. What is a chromosome? A thread-like structure found in the nucleus of a cell made of DNA and proteins. What are sister chromatids? Identical copies of a chromosome. What is a lipid? A molecule that is soluble in fats and oils, but insoluble in water. What is a protein? A molecule made up of amino acids. What is an enzyme? A protein that acts as a biological catalyst. What is metabolism? All the chemical processes that occur in an organism. What is homeostasis? The maintenance of a stable internal environment? What is osmosis? The diffusion of water molecules across a semi-permeable membrane from a region of low solute concentration to a region of high solute concentration. What is diffusion? The movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. What is active transport? The movement of molecules across a cell membrane against their concentration gradient. What is facilitated diffusion? The diffusion of molecules across a cell membrane with the help of a transport protein. What is endocytosis? The process by which cells engulf large molecules or particles. What is exocytosis? The process by which cells expel large molecules or particles. What are the three main parts of a cell? The cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. What is the cytoplasm? The region of the cell between the nucleus and the cell membrane. What are the three types of RNA? Messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. What is the difference between genotype and phenotype? Genotype is the genetic makeup of an organism, while phenotype is the observable characteristics of an organism. What is the law of independent assortment? The law of independent assortment states that during gamete formation, the alleles, 4 different traits, assort independently of one another. This means that the inheritance of one trait does not influence the inheritance of another trait. What is a dominant allele? It's an allele that masks the expression of a recessive allele. What is a recessive allele? It's an allele that is masked by a dominant allele. What is incomplete dominance? A form of inheritance in which the heterozygote has an intermediate phenotype between two homozygotes. What is codominance? A form of inheritance in which both alleles are expressed equally in the phenotype. What is a carrier? An individual who has one dominant allele and one recessive allele for a genetic disorder, but they don't show any symptoms of the disorder. What is a test cross? A cross between an organism with an unknown genotype and an organism with a homozygous recessive genotype. What is a dihybrid cross? Cross between two organisms that are heterozygous for two traits. What is a monohybrid cross? A cross between two organisms that are heterozygous for one trait. What is a Punnett square? Diagram used to predict the genotypes and phenotypes of offspring from a genetic cross. What is probability? The likelihood that a specific event will occur. Thank you for watching. See you next time.